So another fun way of bringing geek culture into play therapy is to pull in superheroes. I think that superheroes are, that's kind of an easy pull into a play interaction with kids, since kids often love to try on, powerful identities and put on costumes that lets them, be the strong one in the room, beat the bad guy. And then to take that a step further, especially if we're thinking about play therapy with an older child, and how to explore our thinking brain versus our emotional brain, and what happens when those two things can come together in an integrated way. Well, the Hulk and Bruce Banner are a beautiful example of this. So if you have a kiddo who's really into the MCU, or loves comic books and loves the Marvel comic books in particular, that the Hulk is really a beautiful example of a representation of what a person can look like when they're in their thinking brain, what a person can look like when they're fully in their emotional brain, right? So when we have, say, Bruce Banner, who is really logical and can think step through step about the decisions that he's making, and how a decision, one thing can impact this next step down the road. There's your thinking brain, such a great example of that. But what happens when we move outside, say, of our window of stress tolerance and into our fully emotional brain? Our nervous system is hyper aroused and our thinking brain goes offline and we lose control emotionally. That happens to lots of kids that we see in the therapy room who struggle with emotional regulation. And who's a great personification of that? But the Hulk. Say, okay, there's our externalization of that experience. I got really stressed out, or I got really angry and I totally hulked out. And maybe pulled something off the wall, or hit my brother, or threw something across the room, or broke a toy because my Hulk brain was just taking over and having such a hard time. So, creating that externalization of the experience of being emotionally overwhelmed, utilizing a character that kids, really understand who that is and can sometimes relate to who that is. Is Hulk a bad guy? No way. Hulk is just a very strong, impulsive, and emotional guy. And what can we do that helps calm down our nervous systems so that our emotional brain and our thinking brain can come together? What can that look like? That's our Professor Hulk. That's our smart Hulk kind of brain. So taking that reasonable mind of Bruce Banner that is logical and thinking, doesn't always think about the feelings of other people, or the emotional mind of the Hulk, who is strong and powerful and takes care of problems, but sometimes in a really big way that doesn't consider the thoughts and the feelings of the people around him. And bringing those things into an integrated state where we have, our Professor Hulk mind, our wise mind, who can make decisions that consider the thoughts and feelings of others, that make a difference for ourselves, and consider our own emotional experience and thoughts and feelings, but then to make decisions that feel good for us all the way around. A lot of times you'll see, reasonable mind, emotional mind, and wise mind are a pretty common discussion in like DBT, for instance, but that this is really something you can translate into the playroom, especially for older kids who have, some of this cognitive capacity, that we can integrate with some play-based exercises for thinking about, well, who's in charge right now? Do I have my thinking brain, my emotional brain, or my integrated wise brain online? And again, a Bruce Banner versus a Hulk versus Professor Hulk can be a beautiful way of illustrating that for kids, that integrates an area of geek culture that is, motivating for them, interesting to them, or something that they're really passionate and care about. So those are just a couple of ways of bringing geek culture into the playroom. There are lots of other ways to explore to do that too, and different areas of geek culture to do that maybe we'll explore in another training another time. But I thank you so much for participating today in this training and in exploring how to infuse geek culture into play therapy. It's such a beautiful, natural combination that I truly believe will really enhance the therapeutic experience that kids have with their play therapists. If you have any questions or you want to kick around some thoughts or ideas, I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out to me at this email anytime. I am sincerely here to be of support to other play therapists and child and family therapists who are interested in bringing some of these topics into their play therapy work. So reach out anytime. I am here to help, and I'm happy to do so. And I look forward to playing with you.